Hey, welcome to another edition of Kyle Meredith with. It's the interview series presented by WFPK at WFPK.org, Consequence, and the Consequence Podcast Network. Thanks for making your way here for checking out the episode. Of course, hit that subscribe button so you get to all the interviews that we put out every single week, 3 a week, just like this one, new and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So you can keep up with your favorite artists, so you can discover some new ones. You can also find us anywhere you get your podcast from for the audio versions: Spotify, Apple Podcast, NPR, WFPK.org, Consequence, or right here on YouTube for the video versions. Anywhere you get your podcast from, you can subscribe to Kyle Meredith with. That's me, Kyle Meredith, today talking with actor Travis Fimmel. You know Travis from shows like Vikings and Warcraft. He is back in Dune Prophecy. Now, Dune Prophecy is the new series on HBO Max. It's set thousands of years before the Dune movies that have been so amazingly popular over the past few years. This one, I'm making sure I get the words right here. It focuses on the Bene Gesserit. The women, they're kind of they're not witches, although I think they're called that a few times in the show, but they do have these superhuman powers, a lot of mind tricks that they can do. Travis himself plays this character Desmond Hart. He's a soldier. He has done, I think, like 21 tours or something like that in the great wars that are happening around that time. He too has his own mental powers. So I'm going to be talking with Travis all about this, getting into the world of Doom, creating this new part of the universe that isn't a part of the movies, but still finds that mood. Getting into his character, there's a lot of mystery. Is he good? Is he bad? He's doing some very bad things, but then every bad guy probably thinks that they're good. We'll talk about that, but we'll also talk about some stuff outside of Travis's professional life, like he has his own line of beer, Travla, that we're going to talk about as well, and a lot more. Farming, it's all in here. So let's jump into it as we discuss Dune Prophecy. It's Kyle Meredith with Travis Fimmel.
Oh, yeah, sorry, man. I forgot about the camera.
Congratulate you on all the success, especially with Dune lately and seeing it. I've also been enjoying the stuff I've been watching on your social media. It was laughing because as you're promoting your beer, Travla,
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
I think you know you got a lot of good things going for you right now. If you survive,
yeah.
Chasing the snake, that was which you do on your socials. I mean, you're usually with animals as you're promoting your beer or whatever, but like the snake was the one thing. Yeah, I can even hear your buddies going, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
Yeah, I don't know, mate. We got no budget. We're a startup company. We got no budget to. Sorry, mate. I'm just seeing someone just driving through my place.
It's like the stare you get when you're about to shoot it, like in the movie, but like somebody's about to shoot somebody. That's what that was.
No, no, fucking people just drive straight straight through. I got a few acres, and they just drive straight through my property. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Just trying to turn around. Lost?
Yeah, probably. Anyway, um, we got no budget, buddy. We're a startup company. We can't afford these big commercials and that, so we're just pretty guerrilla style advertising, mate. And yeah, I carry a can wherever I am, just in case I come across something.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I'm in bourbon country, of course.
Mm,
And for every major brand, there's a startup around me doing, trying to figure out
yeah.
how to do it. And I feel like the amount of brain power they put in it and the money doesn't equal what you just pull off with what's probably a phone camera and whatever animal is nearby. That's
Oh, that's good. Hopefully it works, mate. It's a tough racket, the beer industry, mate.
yeah.
There are a lot of big monopolies that make it very hard to be an independent beer company.
Why'd you want to get into it?
Stupidity.
That's,
Um,
I mean, it's as good
no,
as any.
no, I was offered a couple of liquors, a couple of spirits, to just be the face of or whatever. I said, no, I'd rather, start something from scratch and do my own thing and do what I drink all the time. That type of beer. And I wanted to get mates involved, boys that grew up around me at farms, neighbouring farms and high school buddies and football mates. And we've got 28 of us together, you know. No, nobody's a wealthy person. Um, and we're just trying to have a crack at in a market that we all drink. And at that time too, and I'm just going to push it as much as I can for the boys. It's like I didn't have social media before the beer stuff. I'm not inclined in that way at all. But suddenly I've got mates' money in it and mates' belief in me. So suddenly I've fucking got Instagram and doing that stuff. But it's a fun ride, mate. It's great sort of working with your buddies and doing stuff. They're very stressful at the same time,
I bet.
because and the money that they invested, nothing is huge amounts, but you know, it's still a lot of money to people,
How's the
So
beer?
yeah, it's great, mate. Beer's beer to me, mate. This is a trick that most people don't realize is everybody drinks visually.
Mm.
If you put 10 beers, just normal lagers in glasses, nobody can tell the difference. But as soon as they see the can or the advert or whatever, suddenly it tastes different. It's crazy because beer. There's not that many recipes for beer, especially if you're just a traditional lager. Like in America, the Bud Lights and the Coors and the Buds and even Heinekens and all that stuff. They're very and any of the Modelo's or that stuff. They're very very similar beer. The only difference with our beer is we're really low in calories. But it just tastes like a traditional average beer. There's nothing. You don't need big loop earrings or tattoos on your neck to drink
See,
our
now I'm
beer.
thinking back to growing up when it was like this Air Jordan is going to make you jump higher. It
Ah,
didn't,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
exactly.
now maybe at least I can think your can looks cool enough that I could chase a snake down in a yard.
Yeah. Oh shit, man.
It's the
Um,
same thing. It's the same thing.
yeah, please
Yeah.
don't.
Um,
I wonder if I can get in trouble for that. Jesus,
man,
fucking
seriously, congrats on Dune's been fun to watch. This feels like a big project because you guys are world building at this point. I mean, the success of these two movies and having like we've started seeing that, right? That this is the trail at this point, you know. Star Wars does a movie, and now we got the offshoots and Game of
hmm
Thrones and we got the offshoots, and now we're sort of seeing that version of it. Like how much of how I guess what I'm talking about story-wise, universe building, like how much of this is new territory to kind of pick up on the momentum. You know, how it feels, I guess is what I'm getting at here, because I mean, you guys are coming after two very successful movies. Is
Oh yeah, yeah.
is there a bit of a weight on your shoulders to kind of
Oh
produce
yeah, definitely,
verse?
definitely. Like, the quality of those movies is so amazing, and obviously there's a huge fan base. But if you're into those movies come out once every 3 or 4 years. So this is to keep you to try to tide you over a bit. And we're on different planets, different worlds, different characters, 10,000 years before. So obviously, it's a very very similar world, but in a lot of ways, it's like 10,000 years before on different planets. So it shouldn't be that much like the film. Um, but innately in the genre stuff like this stuff is it's all very similar, and it's all that's why Dune is just so amazing. So many people are inspired by Dune to do you know, took inspiration, I'm sure, through pretty well every single show that's in this vein or in this world or, fantasy slash sci-fi.
And there's such a mood, like especially in again in those movies. And I know this is a different thing than the movies, as you're saying. You know, you get that luxury of putting it in a different timeline and everything.
Hmm.
But to create something with that mood, like Dune and Blade Runner, you know, I mean, there was just something
Mm,
about that era that kind of lent itself to that story that's really different from anything we
yeah.
see, even in sci-fi. I can't imagine. I mean, how do you produce that as an actor? I mean, is that all on the back end? Do you talk through that stuff?
No, not at all. I mean, I feel like a lot of actors, the sets and the clothing and that affects them and really helps the performance and that. But I don't know. It doesn't matter what period. It can be a cowboy film. It can be one of these. It can be futuristic stuff. Everybody's got the same basic emotions. You want to be loved. You feel anger. You feel hate. Um, You want to kill some people. Some of these shows you get to actually live that out, but it's the same human emotions that that everybody goes through, and that's all I try to do as an actor. Is just give them reasons, give your character reasons for why they're doing it, and make the stakes very high, and try to get everybody wants to be loved, so you try to make other characters love you. Um, and then there's people you want to fuck with in real life. So I love fucking with people in with characters, and trying to mess with their brains and and I don't like people ever knowing exactly what you're doing, you know,
Yeah.
which is always the first thing I ever do on a job is can I please cut so many lines because the more you talk, the more you give away, and kill the mystery. And yeah, you can get caught out the more you talk too much. People know what you're thinking.
Sure. I mean, that's the great thing about this guy, the Desmond. Like, does he think he's a good guy?
Yeah, everybody thinks they're a good person. Yeah,
Right.
do you think you're a good person? Yeah. You
I
know,
mean, to sizzle a kid, that's what I'm talking about. It's like he's got these things that he's doing. It's like, and it's
yeah,
interesting when you dissect characters like that. And I don't know how deep you go. Some actors,
yeah,
everybody's got their style or whatever. But when you think about that base level thing, like, does this person think that they're good?
yeah. I think every actor just I think most actors anyway, always think that you're not meant to judge a character,
Hmm.
and yeah, just making inner work in your while you're doing those scenes is like you got to really have a high stake and a good reason why you're doing it and feel justified doing it. Whether it's your backstory and pain it was causing. He was a naughty kid, but it was a bit too far. To be honest, it's not a very nice thing to do. But I love the show that the show takes risks like that.
Hmm.
A lot of producers and writers say, "No, this is too far. You can't do that." But I love a show that where you can do that. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, and what it takes these days to keep viewers engaged. I'm not saying you have to
mm,
go to outlandish things, and everything, but it takes good writing, and it does take
yeah,
chances, and to see, to
yeah,
to actually pull off like I didn't expect that. That's rare, you know.
yeah. No, exactly. And there's so many. That's why I signed on for the show too. It's not typical. There's one good hero that you follow throughout the movie. I enjoy the scripts where you're trying to work out who should I root for, who do you believe in. But it's everybody's just got this everybody's got issues. So I love it. And I always say it's like to me the show's like one big riddle where
Mm,
you're and you're trying to work out yeah what the answer to the riddle is the whole way through.
right.
And there's some great stuff revealed in episode 6 that I think will be very surprising. Um, there's some great events and yeah, and great realizations and twists that I think will be pretty surprising for the audience.
Yeah. Yeah, and just like watching all of this stuff unravel. Like you, of course, get to give a very big speech, in front of this council.
Yeah, sorry about that. Hope, hopefully it didn't bore you too much.
No, it was great, but that's it's that moment because you've got this guy and he's a soldier, but we haven't got to see much fighting from him yet, and that's fine.
Mm.
And a lot of the things you do is very simple and direct. And here's this moment, like this is your like what ready for my close up, Mr. DeVille, whatever.
Mm.
But like, what's the prep for? What? Well, let me more ask that more directly. Like, what was the prep for on that?
Uh, it takes me forever to learn lines, mate. I've got the worst memory in the world.
I actually like
And
hearing that because I worry that about myself. So.
oh, mate, it's getting worse. No, on another interview, I shit myself, man. There's that many people in a room. I'm the only person talking. That's horrible. I'm so insecure. Like I'm not. I didn't want to read in front of kids at school or any of that stuff. I don't want to be the only person talking, and that stuff is very daunting to me. A room full of people, and it's like I just like I just can't think of anything Like going to school naked.
So you get into acting.
No, just moron, mate. Absolute moron. Like an idiot. I've never thought things through properly. And here I am, an actor, 45, playing dress up with long hair. Jesus Christ, where did it all go wrong, mate?
I like the, it's
God
fumbling
damn
up.
it.
I don't want to say, you have the failing up thing, and that's not this, but I had a friend say he's kind of fumbled up a lot in his life, and looking back and seeing like going from the modeling but into the music videos, right? Because like you did what I read, Janet and Jennifer Lopez, like you did videos for them.
Oh, I did, yeah, just one little quick stuff like anybody. Commercials and
Uh-huh.
music videos, yeah, same stuff. But I don't know, there's fumbling. It was, you know, you want to be an actor, you have to. I was in class since day one here, got over here, and yeah, it's that thing, right? Just try to work harder than everybody else in class. I don't think anybody ever, you can't fumble up in this industry at all, unfortunately.
So there's a
Yeah.
little bit of method to it at least. I mean,
Oh, fully, mate. Yeah, studied for years. There's no, yeah, there's no takes are huge. There's no one easy thing about working a lot in this industry, mate. It's so hard to get into, and no easy ways. But I wish there's maybe there is easy ways. I miss them. But yeah, no, just a lot of acting class and a lot of study and all that boring shit.
and keep your life well balanced.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I hear
well,
about the farming thing again. I'm in a city, but I grew up in the country. I'm like the fact that you come from the family of farmers, it's like farming is not guaranteed. Farming wasn't guaranteed 30 years ago, you know.
no, it's never been. It's always been a very hard. You don't get rich farming, mate. Just work too much and better lifestyle, and that's what the whole beer thing was about too. 'Cause all beer was when we started Travla beer, it was it's to represent the country boys because they're very forgotten about.
Hmm,
You know, anywhere the country people are forgotten about, and obviously we wouldn't eat if it weren't for country people,
right.
whether it be bread or fruit or any of that stuff, you know, or meat. Um, and yeah, a lot of times it's just sort of forgotten, you know, especially in same as the States, people get shocked that certain people get voted in. It's like, well, this is you have no identification with the rest of the your country. You know,
Right.
everything's not about New York and LA. But the same everywhere. Farmers get forgotten. It's a beautiful lifestyle, but it's also the hardest working lifestyle there is. You know, and that's what we want to represent the beer. There's hardworking Aussies that are forgotten. Same as every beer. Every beer is made in the cities and then taken to the country people. We want a beer that give the city people a taste of the country. You know.
I love that. I do. And again, I mean, I grew up on bean farms and tobacco farms and everything,
Yeah,
and
there's
it's
beautiful country around you, man. Nice and green and beautiful mountains and that.
a lot of nice hills, a lot of nice hills around here. I don't mind coming home
Yeah,
to it. Yeah.
yeah. We can always create beautiful streams and that. Yeah, it's beautiful there, but it just gets a
Yeah.
bit chilly.
Let me say it a different way. It's fucking cold right now.
Yeah, yeah, it is,
But it's
mate.
supposed to be cold, and that's
Yeah,
what I come back to.
yeah.
Um, seriously, congrats on it. I'm really enjoying seeing you and this guy and what he does and who he is and who he might be in Dune. I can't wait to see how that unravels. And one of these days, I can't wait to taste my own little Travla for the first time. Uh,
Legend, mate. I'll get one to you, Kyle, and give us a. We'll have a chat after when we finish the episode 6 or something.
Absolutely, I'm around.
No worries. All right, legend, mate. Appreciate you.
And thanks to my guest. Also, thanks to you for checking out the episode in the series. Before you get out of here, hit that subscribe button. Again, you get 3 brand new interviews every single week. New one every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at right here on YouTube, or of course anywhere in podcast land, including iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, NPR, or WFPK.org as well. A great way to keep up with your favorite artists and discover new ones as well. Then after that, actually head over to WFPK.org. That's where I do a show Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's an hour full of song premieres, music news, anniversary spins, bonus interviews, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. Eastern at WFPK.org. Consequence has your music and film news. You can also find me on the social media spots, Facebook, Instagram, mostly on Twitter. All three of them, the address is at Kyle Meredith. Do hope you like and follow along. That does it for another edition. I'm Kyle Meredith. I'll see you next time.